Hey guys, and welcome to Facebook Friday. Eric Hammond here with the Orange Stack. We are out here on a pretty cool lagoon. I like this spot. I just drove by and found it. We try to keep the recording spots pretty up in the air to the last minute. Anyway, today we're in Oceanside. So today we're talking about ramping up your lead gen. If you're in business, you're probably lead generating some way or another, whether it's through phone calls, marketing, postcards, something that's going out there to generate business for you. And I've been talking to a lot of companies lately who do a lot of lead generation through outbound phone calling with their businesses, and I thought I'd make a quick video on some 5 tips that I've found helpful in my business. I've been in real estate for a while before this, and we made a lot of phone calls. We actually had a team of ISAs, internal sales agents, and their goal was to basically make phone calls to motivated homeowners who are looking to either buy or sell property. And I was running through some of the numbers the other day, and we actually averaged about 250,000 phone numbers dialed per year. That's a lot of phone numbers. So I figured I had some good things to share with you guys in helping you, if you're in a lead gen business of some sort, get more business through your phone calling efforts. So let's just jump right into some of these ideas here. Number 1 is schedule it, right? You got to put it on your schedule. You got to plan for your lead gen. Whether that's 9 to noon, 8 to 10, 4 to 6, whatever it is, all day, put it in your calendar, make it happen, and let everybody know about it. Like, let your team know about it, let your office know what's going on. Just block it out, have it happen, and make sure everybody knows that when I'm in the office and my sign's out there and I'm in lead gen mode, it has to happen and nobody can interrupt me. It has to be on your schedule or it's not gonna happen. That's tip number 1. Just tell everybody what's going on, keep them updated. I think that's probably the best thing. That way, when they come to you, they'll know if I can talk to him or not. Just keep the door shut if that's how it goes. Tip number 2, stand up, right? Stand tall, get your chest puffed up, have some energy. When you stand up, you have so much, walk up birds here. When you stand up, you have so much more energy. Your voice conveys that message. If you're sitting down, hunched over the phone, talking, it's dark and dreary. So stand up, boost your energy, get things going, project that message across the phone, and people are going to hear it in your voice. They're going to appreciate it. They're going to know that what you have to say matters. So stand up, get your message out there. Number 3, all the money is in the prep. That's kind of a weird way to put it, but basically, if you are prepped for the phone conversation, if you're prepped to make that phone call, if you know what you're going to say when it's time to say it, your call is going to go so much better. I was talking to a solar guy last night at this happy hour event that I went to, and he was saying that they have a lot of referral business. Like, most of their business comes from referrals. So they're not outbound calling cold calls. They're actually calling people that are warm leads that a past client gave them. That's still lead gen, right? So when you pick up the phone and make that call to Mr. Smith and you say, hey, Mr. Smith, I was referred to you from your friend Steve. He told me to call you. He thought that a solar system would be great for your house because of this, and this. If you go into that conversation prepared for that, knowing the numbers, knowing where he lives, knowing about his situation, that call is going to go so much better than, hey, Mr. Smith, how's it going? My name's Eric. Are you looking for solar? Right? Different phone call. So be prepared for that conversation. Know what you're going to say. Know how you're going to steer that conversation, where you're going to take it, what you're trying to convey in the message, and set up the appointment and go close them. That's the whole point. Set up the appointment, go close them, get them ready for it. Another big thing on that, before I move on to the next one, is plan out your weeks in advance. So don't just say, hey, it's Monday, it's 9 o'clock, I'm supposed to be calling right now, who should I call? Your mind's going to start setting in. You're going to say, maybe I won't do it right now, maybe I'll wait till later, maybe I should prepare more, maybe I should plan out my scripts better. Plan out your week in advance. Sunday nights, know who you're going to call Monday through Friday if that's your call time. Know who you're going to call, know what you're going to say, what's the schedule, who am I going to dial, where's the numbers. You got to have it all automated. I'm actually teaching a class next week on how to use a dialer for this, how to call with a dialer so you can bump out those numbers, get a whole bunch of them done, and you set the list up and it just goes to the next one. So you don't even have to think about it. You just hit start and it dials for you. But sometimes you're calling those one-off numbers. Maybe you only have 10 conversations in an hour because the call goes so well, or maybe they're very specific calls, but just plan it out. Know that I'm going to call Mr. Smith at 10 o'clock on Tuesday, and if he doesn't answer, I'm going to follow up on Thursday at this time. Like, just plan your weeks, and the calls are going to go that much better. Okay. The next one is don't practice on your clients, right? Don't practice on your clients. The phone calls are too valuable. Even if you're making 250,000 calls per year, your clients are too valuable to practice on them. You need to have role plays in the mornings, you need to have script practice, have a partner, even if they live in another country. Call them up, practice on the phone. I used to do that every morning from 7 to 7:30 on my drive to work, was having a role play partner, and it helped a ton. You know, we'd go over calls for 30 minutes, we'd have different dialogues, different scripts, different objections that I was gonna get that day. Practice, 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 and don't practice on your clients because they're gonna hear it. If you're not ready for the call, they're gonna hear it and they're gonna wanna move on to somebody else who is ready to talk to them. So don't practice on your clients. Know your objections, know the common concerns that you're gonna get from people. If I'm selling solar and someone says it's too expensive, what's your response? If I'm trying to get an appointment to sell a house and someone says, I'm not ready to move yet, I just don't know where I'm gonna go, what's your response, right? Know your responses, know the common objections that you're gonna get and how to handle them, and be ready for them. Have them on your wall. Paste a piece of paper on the wall next to it so you know, here's the objection, boom, got it, I can handle it, I'm ready to go. Okay, we already talked about that. The next one is bring in some competition, right? Maybe you have some other partners in your office. Maybe there's another person in your industry who you want to team up with and say, look, we're going to try to set appointments today. Our goal is to set 10 appointments. Whoever gets 10 first, the other person has to buy them lunch, whatever it is, but set some goals. Have an accountability partner, make it fun, make it interesting, keep it competitive, maybe even compete with yourself just to keep it interesting too, but have some competition. It makes it a lot more interesting, it breaks it up, makes your day more interesting rather than just going. So make it fun, make it an office pool. Maybe you have a bunch of guys in your office, if you're in insurance or solar, if there's a kind of a group mentality, but you're kind of on your own in that same sense, maybe find a couple guys that you can do like a weekly call session with, log your calls, make it fun, just play with it, make it a game. It's a lot more fun when you can make the fun out of it. And then, so I think that's pretty much the 5 tips. And then here's a couple bonuses I got really quick for you. Know your numbers. Know your numbers, know your numbers. If I'm just calling all day long and I get to 300 calls, I'm like, oh man, what a downer day. I'm just tired of talking to people. I didn't make any money today. It's gonna suck getting on the phone tomorrow. But if you knew exactly what each phone call was worth, there's a guy that I talked to, he said every time I pick up the phone, no matter what, that call is worth $40 to me. If they answer or not, I know my numbers enough that it just makes sense. Every call is worth $40 to me because the numbers are there. At a certain point, someone's gonna answer and someone's gonna say yes if I keep doing what I'm supposed to do. If I keep at the game that I'm doing, every single call is worth $40. If you knew that every time you picked up the phone it was worth $40, you'd be picking up 2 phones at a time. It's just, if you know your numbers, it makes it so much easier. Okay, get a dialer. We talked about that. If you get a dialer and you can just mass call through people, I'm talking like 4 numbers at a time, you're gonna get through your numbers 4 at a time. That's so much faster. You can call more people, you can leave more voicemails, you can talk to more people, it works. So if you can have a phone conversation with a dialer where you just load the list, hit start, and start calling from top to bottom, you're gonna have bigger success faster. So get a dialer if you can. It's usually anywhere from like $75 to $300 per month, depending on the dialer and the system that you use. And then the last note I have for you, we've talked a lot about this in the past, is use a CRM. If you can have a dialer and all your notes just dump into the CRM, the follow-up's gonna be easier. Let's say I call out Mr. Smith that Steve told me to call and I leave a voicemail with him. If I'm calling 1,000 people a week or a day or whatever, I'm gonna forget about that guy. He's gonna just drift off my memory if I left a voicemail with him. But if my CRM says, hey, you left a voicemail on Tuesday, you should probably call him again on Thursday and just check in with him or send him a text or drop by his house or do something, you're never gonna forget him. So dump all your notes into your CRM and help you follow up. That's gonna be huge. That's so critical in making phone calls. You get lost in the phone calls, you get lost in what you're doing, you forget about who everybody is. So make it easy on yourself. Get a CRM that works. Spend a couple bucks because it's going to be worth it in the long run. CRMs pay for themselves so quickly. So there's 5 quick tips on helping you lead gen in your business. I hope that this is something that's going to help you. It's a little off from what we typically do here at the Orange Stack with social marketing, but I know that a lot of people that we work with have other sources of marketing in their business that are going to help, whether it's through mail campaigns or phone calls or something else. I'm trying to give you some value here. So hopefully this helps. Hope you guys are having an awesome Friday. Thanks for following along. Be sure to check in with us every Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time to be live and get your questions answered if you have any. So thanks again, and we'll see you next time.